Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the MS Word tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 7, where we will be learning about merging and splitting the cells. So over here, we will learn about merging and splitting cells in detail inside a table. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So over here on my screen, as you guys can see now, again, I am here at the same document in which we guys do have worked about table in our last class. So in this particular class, we're gonna learn more in detail about tables, like how you will be able to merge or split a cell. So we do have learned that what a cell is, but here in this particular chapter, we will be learning in detail about those things. So if you do want to create up a new page inside the same document, let's come here to insert. And from here, let's click on a blank page. And over here, if you guys take a look here, now I do have a blank page. So now let's come to this particular place. And from here, let's create a table. Okay, so I'll just create a table quite like this over here. And also in our last class, we do have learned that how you are basically going to work and how to basically select the line weight and stuff. Okay, so now let's come here and from table design, now let's go to layout. Okay, so over here we also do have learned about drawing a table and also about the eraser. So if I just put in the drawing table, this is how you guys can basically create a table and work accordingly. So here you guys might be thinking, why did the outline change and it's now a bit thicker? So if you guys remember over here, now I do have changed it. But again, if I just go back to 1.5 points, and now if I just create one here, you guys can see now it's 1.5 points right over here as well. If I just keep this one like a quarter, here you guys can see now this is a quarter. Okay, the border. So now let's come over here. Let's click on the select option, and from here Control Z to go back. And now let's come to this layout option, and here inside the layout option, if I want to delete any kind of cells, I can come here and I can basically delete cells accordingly. Let's say from here, I will select all these 3 cells, and now I want to delete this. Okay. So if I just click on delete cells, I will just click on OK right over here. And you guys can see all the 3 cells which I do have selected has been deleted. Okay, and the same way, if you do want to delete a particular column, let's say I do want to delete this particular column right over here. So if I just keep my cursor over here on top, okay, so here now I will just move my cursor a bit and I do have selected the whole column. Now let's click on delete. And now I'll just click on delete columns and the whole column is being deleted. And the same way, if I do want to delete the whole row, let's come here. And from here now, let's just select this whole thing out. Let's select this whole row over here. And now I will just delete this whole row itself. So that is how you guys can work. And if you want to delete a whole table, okay, you guys can just select this particular table, and if I just click on delete table, the whole table is being deleted. Okay, so that is how you guys can basically work. Let's go to this layout design over back again, and also being inside the table as well. Once you do have created, you guys can come here and you guys can basically insert rows and columns down below as well. If you want to insert a row on top, let's say You guys will understand it better if I just put out any content inside. Okay, so let me just put out some contents over here. Okay, let me just put a single word itself. F G H I. Okay, so over here now, as you guys can see, I am in this if cell. Okay, so over here, as I am in this particular cell, what I want to do is, let's say I want to insert a row on top of this if column. So in that particular case, what I can do is if I just click on insert above here, you guys can see that I do have inserted a column just above the if cell or just above the this particular row. Okay, so that is how you guys can basically increase a row. But the same way, if I just come here and if I just keep my cursor onto this particular cell, and now I want to insert a row below. Okay, so here you guys can see I do have inserted a row below. And if I do want to insert a column on the left hand side, I can come here and I can just insert a column on the left hand side. And the same way, if I do want to delete it, I can just come here, I can just delete it accordingly. And the same way, if I do want to insert a column onto the right hand side of the selected cell, I can come here and I can just insert it on the right hand side as well. So using this, I hope you guys do have understood that how you can basically insert any cell, any column, or any row throughout this whole table. Okay, so I hope this particular thing was actually clear. Now, the next thing what I'm gonna do is let's come here, let's click on insert, let's select up a table, and over here I do have created a new table. Now let's go to layout from here, and what you're gonna do now is we're gonna learn about merging cells and also about splitting cells. Okay, so before that, the same thing which I do have showed you over here, you guys can actually do that just by going to this particular table, just right clicking, and here you guys can see I do have the insert option. Here you guys can see the same things are also present, but they also do have a different option known as insert cells. Okay, let's say individual cell. If you want to insert any individual cell, here it will show you four options, like shift cells onto the right, like wherever you are actually putting that particular cell. From there, do you want to shift the other cells onto the if you want to shift the other cells down, or if you do want to shift the other cells onto the right hand side. Let's say I want to shift the other cells down, and if I just click on OK, here you guys can see that a new cell is basically being inserted. So that is how it's worked. And let's say if you want to select both of this cell, and now what you want to do is you want to merge your cells. So there are two options. If you just click on merge cells, you guys can do that. Otherwise, just select both of this cell. And for selecting both of this, you just need to click on the first cell and just drag to the other cell. Or if you want this whole thing over here, let's say I want three of these cells which are there on top, and just make sure to right click, and from here you guys can just click on merge cells, and here you guys can see that this particular cell is basically being merged. Okay, so over here you guys can actually do that thing. And the same way, let's say over here now I do have this same cell, but what I want to do is I want to right click, and instead of merging, and as with only one cell you can't basically merge, but instead what you guys can do is you guys can split the cells. So over here, once you click on splitting cells, it will ask you that, well, in how many rows or columns do you want to split the particular cell. Let's say you don't want it in column, like you don't want to split it in rows, you just want to split it in column. Let's say I will just take three columns. And if I just click on OK, so here you guys can see I do have selected this particular cell, and now I do have actually put this in three particular columns. Okay, so that is how you guys can basically split. And over here, if you want to split a table, you guys can come here and basically split a table as well. So if I just keep my cursor right over here, and if I just go to this layout option, and from here, if I click on split table, from this exact point, the table will be splitted. Okay, Control Z to go back again and undo the action. So again, let's go to layout, and here you guys can see you do have different options known as auto fit. Okay, let's say if I do have any content over here inside. Okay, so I will just put out the content, and over here if I just turn on the auto fit content, here you guys can see now if I just write things out, it will just increase the size of my cell accordingly. Okay, so if I don't have any content, the size of it will be less. Okay, so let's come right over here. I will turn off the auto fit, and here you do have the option of auto fit window, or if you do want fixed column width. Let's say if I just go with fixed column width, and if I just type something right over here, it is not changing its width, but it is just writing it below. Okay, so that is how you guys can basically work as well. And that is the usage of auto fit right over here. And over here, now here you guys can basically check that what is going to be the table height or table uh, row height. Okay, so if I just come over here, if I just take this particular cell down, and if I just increase the length or the height over here, okay, I can basically do that the same way. Let's come here. If you do want to increase, I will just increase this one as well. And the same way, if you want to increase the width, you guys can increase the width as well. Okay, so once you are done, if you want to distribute rows and columns accordingly, you guys can come here, and here you guys can see you do have distributed rows, and the same way you guys can distribute columns as well. Okay, so this is about the cell size options. And now the same options appears over here known as alignment. Let's say if I come here onto this particular cell, and if I just type apple, and now as I do have this particular content inside this particular cell, what I want to do is, as this particular word which I have, I don't want it on the left hand side. Instead, I want to put this one here in the exact middle. So I can basically align my text accordingly over here. If you do want it on the center right, you guys can do that. If you want it on the top right corner, if you want it on the center, uh, like top center, if you do want it in the bottom center, bottom left, and also bottom right. So it will look good if I just keep it in the exact center. So I will just keep it right over here. And at the same time, if you want to customize the cell margin and the spacing between the cells, you guys can come here, and you guys can choose the spacing between the cell as well. Okay, so top, if you do want to space in the bottom, if you do want it on the right, and if you want to allow spacing between cells, so I will just mark this one on. And if I just click on OK, this is how it will basically look. So you can customize your table as well at the same time. Okay, so you guys can do that. And I do have already told you guys that about sorting. Let's say over here, I will type good. I will come here. I will just write bad. I will type heavy, and I will just select both of this, and I'm going to align it here in the center as well. So now I'll just select four of this thing, and I'll just click on sort. and I will just sort it accordingly and I will just click on OK right over here. Let's go. And here you guys can see automatically by default, it had sorted Apple, then I do have bad, then I do have good, and then I do have heavy. So what it did over here basically is it actually understood the letter or the letter pattern over here. So according to the letter, it basically sorted things out for me. So again, if you do want to go inside this table, you guys can go over here inside. So this was about sorting, and over here, if you want to convert any table, let's say you already do have a pre-made table or you do have a list of data which need to be extracted from that particular table. In that particular case, you guys can use this option known from convert to text. So it will just try to read all the information inside that particular table and it will just give you those information in form of a text. Okay, so over here you do have different kind of formulas if you want to apply. Okay, you guys can basically apply those formula inside this particular cell and the outcome will basically be given to you accordingly. Okay, so this was about all these options, how to draw a table, how to use the eraser, a different option of deleting, here how you will be able to insert cells, insert rows and columns, how to merge a cell, how to split a cell, how to split table, usage of the autofill option, how to distribute rows and columns accordingly. And also we do have learned about the alignment, about cell margins, how to sort things out, and I hope this class was clear into till this layout option. And let's say if I just come here and if I just put my mouse over here and if I do want to check out the properties, you guys can come here and basically check the properties of the whole table. You guys can check the properties of rows. You can check the properties of column, cell as well, like what is the preferred width over here. And also you guys can check what is the specified height for the row as well. Okay, by looking at the properties, if you want to manipulate those, you guys can also manipulate those later according to your need. So yeah, I hope this particular class was clear. So we took two classes to cover table because using table in Word is quite important. Okay, so in so many places, you guys might need to use a table inside your Word document when you have a long document, like you want to show a list of different people, or you are keeping record of some people, or you are showing it in form of a presentation. You guys need tables for more visual understanding. Like once people see the table, they tend to understand it in a better way about that particular topic about which you are explaining to them. So it's quite important to learn, and I hope to see you all in the next chapter where we're going to learn more about MS Word and its usage. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone.